Ladies and gentlemen, Side Strafe back with some more World of Tanks. Today I'm in my Jagdtiger 88, and I think most of the team is going to head for the flag, which is usually a good idea. Although, a little worried about that side being empty there. I just hate going over there, to be honest, because all it takes is one good scouting mission, and you're a giant target. So I'll keep an eye on the mini-map. I mean, this might be a gamble. You know, maybe I should go over there. I don't know. I just hate going over there. It's always bad news. It's my bad luck spot. Then again, if we have a horrible team, this will become the bad luck spot. So we'll just have to see how this goes. Alright, so I'm going to stay back for a little bit. And just wait till things get lit up. Maintain some of this camouflage over here in the back. Oh no, not again. Why has this been happening so much lately? The fact that there's 3 heavies, at the very least, on this island. I don't know why they keep going there. Alright, I kind of want to ping the mini-map, but that guy's in cover. We just have no protection on the other flank, and I know it's going to be a bad thing if they want to rush that side, but and we've got a Chaffee that's camping as well. That's nice. Keeping an eye on that mini-map to see if the bulk of their force is at the flag as well. T-44 is just trying to scout from the hill. See, the funny thing is, our Centurion 7/1 should have went here. Chaffee also should have went here. There's the scout I was talking about running into that would have lit me up. I just don't really have any shots on these guys because they're hull down. Flank bounce on a Tiger. Just over his turret. AMX backs off just in time. They're dominating this hill, so I'm just going to try to keep an eye on it. Oh, come on. Of course. Of all the times for the shot to miss. I think the AMX is going to relocate. And the only thing really at the city, or the village I should say, is the M103. All these guys are maintaining hull down positions, just keeping that hill. I'd like to assist with the village a little bit more, but the second I move in, my sides are exposed to these guys on the top. Oh, we've tracked him. Hopefully everybody else can fling some shots at him and we can finish him off. One more. There we go. Tiger is completely exposed. Another backtrack. That's fine as long as we've allowed him to be taken out. I'm okay with that. Went into the top of the Tiger there. Do we have anything over here that we can shoot at? Yes, we do. Let him have it. KV. Patton. T30. He's going to get hull down. That'll be tough to deal with. Some juicy targets up here, but I'm really worried about the village being captured. What we need are some heavies that know how to be heavies. Now I'm going to have to sacrifice myself and get in here a little bit more. Maybe I can provide some cover fire. So now they're rushing in. Tiger's on fire. Nice. This battle... that IS-3 is in a really bad spot to shoot at. Will we be able to get a final shot on him here? Nice. There's still a T-30 up there somewhere. A little worried about that. But we might be able to clean up here. There's the T-30. I'm not going to do much against this turret, but... can I track him? Couldn't see it. Frack. We just need to move into the capture point. T-34. Help us out. Alright, we're in here now. We're not leaving. Oh, there goes that house. I think there's more than just that T-30. Somebody else with a higher rate of fire. AMX 1390 is still up there, I think, shooting away at the house. Wow, it's like constant fire. Oh, tracked. Come on, finish that sucker off. Yeah, he's probably got to reload now. There's a Panther on our 6. Frack. That was a T-30 shot, I think. I'm worried about the 6, but... I think that T-30's got my number. I should take cover here. Panther's right there now. I had to back out of the cap just to grab some form of cover. Panther's trying to shoot me at some different angles there. Shot out on the Patton. There goes the Tiger. And the cap ensues. T-34's in the back camping. Getting shot from the side. That's the AMX. Well, I did my job. You know, that's one of those battles where, you know, I'm going to walk away with my head held high because that was just kind of a bag of fail here. Look at this T-34 just chilling. Camping the island. You know, if you're watching this video later or whatever, if you've played this game, if you were in this match, stop camping this island in a heavy tank. This is a place for maybe artillery and 1 or 2 tank destroyers, and that's it. Everybody else needs to be at the front line. I don't care if he has a kill either. You can't waste this armor over here. You know, I could have used his help, you know, fighting it out over here, or he could have at very least helped a bit more with this hill, because we had to deal with the fact that this T-30 has 6 kills. This guy should have been taken out a long time ago. We had a medium that went over here. We had the wrong balance as well. But I think I was smart by coming over here. I don't think I would have gotten enough done by being on this side. Oh, grats, you killed that guy. Yeah. And now it's over via the Panther. You shouldn't have been there in the first place, dude. You know, whatever. What can you do? Well, the 88's still proving that it can make plenty of credits even on a loss. It's sad that that guy was... I mean, he might have been getting sniper shots on targets, but I think what we needed was his intimidation factor. We needed him... I would have actually... As much as I don't like heavies going for the hill, I would have preferred that he would have been on the hill, because he could have been hull down and he could have shut the T-30 up a little bit. Kept them back. Kept the AMX, you know, enough, pushed them back enough for them to make a mistake to the point where I could shoot them in the sides, you know. But in general, we just had some bad team movement. It wasn't a complete annihilation, which is at least thankful for that. But let's go ahead and do another one in the Ag Tiger 88. This is a great tank destroyer. It's a fantastic premium. It just makes a lot of money. In fact, has the highest credit earning potential in the game, bar none. Mostly because you're dealing with an extremely high rate of fire with some decent penetration and damage. And, of course, the main factor, the shells only cost 252 credits. And that's why you're earning a whole heck of a lot of money there. So I think, yeah, I'm not accelerating crew training because I probably want to use that on free XP conversion for some reason or another. Actually, you know, well, I can't really think of a tank that I want. I think I've gotten most everything that I need or want. Now with this map, I think I'm going to hang out in the woods over here for a little bit and just push up ever so slightly. See, they've got quite a few tank destroyers as well. We're almost even on that. Some artillery. We'll have to see how this goes.
Time to roll out.
I don't really like just using or relying on tree cover because once you're found out, you're going to get shot to death because you have nothing to hide behind. So what I try to do is get to a place where if I have to run for building cover, I can. This is, of course, you know, a map where we have to worry about the flag. So we don't want too many people in the woods, but... Alright, so one target down already. I just don't think I'm going to get a shot off from over here. Shooting at that wall over there just to break some cover, although I think there's another house in the way, so that might have just been for naught. There's a Comet messing around with our Carnarvon over here. And if we know anything about Comets, it's a flank tank. Those two guys up front are getting wrecked. Now, will the Comet continue forward? Or is he going to come around me? Because he could really mess me up. Tiger 2 also on the left. Alright, let's see if we can push up. I don't know if I can see this guy. Let me see here. This is the Ag Panther 2. I'm just going to... Oh, nice. Never mind that idea. Whoa, back up. Didn't realize they had a column right there. Now they're aware of me. Alright, Yak Panther 2, we could kind of watch each other's backs. I've got this thing here for cover as well. Let me see if I can figure this out. How much can I expose myself and maybe get some shots off on this? right into his little weak spot on the turret. There's the T-29, but there's the IS. Alright, so T-29's probably going to want to try to come through here and get me in the back. Yep. Can he fit through there, though? Yeah, he can. Just enough, anyway. But I've still got... He can't get past the wreck, I don't think. And he couldn't angle himself properly. So that calculation paid off. Wasn't expecting you though, sir. Thankfully I had some premiums loaded. Wiggle my tank around a little bit, hopefully get him to bounce. Ah. And then killed by artillery. So, not much I could do on that one either. I think I again, you know, walking out of this one, knowing that I've done what I can by holding out the forest area. The Jagdpanther 2 actually bailed on me. I really could have used your help, and I don't know, I should have just called for help or something, but now he's just chilling here. Maybe he took somebody out by the circle, I don't know, but, you know, wow. He would have made a huge difference. Is this the same one, or did we have another one? Hold on. Jagdpanther 2. No, that's the only one we had. He was right next to me, and he decided to bail. Maybe he was worried about the capture point. We could have easily finished off the IS, no problem. And T-29... Yeah, if I'd have had this guy watching my back, that would have been fantastic. You know, he's outnumbered right now. Artillery's waiting for the shot, which will probably be any second now. And he actually gets killed by the T-29, I think, in that one. So, yeah, you should have stuck with me, Chief. I think we really could have had that. I'm sure this guy will be able to carry. And look at this guy still did the most damage out of everyone. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Need the help in the right locations. Him bailing on me didn't help anybody because we could have at least reinforced the wooded line, moved up north, and came around on their sixes. So you can talk about doing damage all day long, but it really doesn't matter because we lost. It still doesn't matter. It still doesn't matter because the tactics were wrong. He bailed on a position that we were able to reinforce. He may have done the most damage, but it just doesn't matter at this point. And there are times where you can look at it and say, okay, I did a fine job and I did the most damage. I was in the right spots. But if you run off, okay, I did some damage here. It's like sprinkling powder over something. It's like, okay, I did some damage here, I did some damage here, but were you in the right location? Because I was able to handle 2 of their tanks. I know we could have taken the IS. T-29 would have fallen eventually because we would just be watching our backs. I got killed by artillery. You know, that might have been the only real problem, but... yeah. And it's not just him. I mean, there's other people around the map that aren't in the right locations. So, you know, we could have definitely had this guy, but he survives to get that shot there. So, you know, Gratz, yes, you do have the most damage, but that doesn't really matter in this case. Now, okay, we have an IS. We have a T-21 and a T-28 prototype. You know, I'm going to blame these guys more. The only reason I'm singling this guy out is because he was right next to me. and he left the second that they were coming in. And he should think, okay, Jagdtiger 88 is kind of slow. That tank destroyer is not going to be able to retreat. So let me back him up. You know, we're holding this line. Maybe you can gauge, is this guy a competent player? Is he in a defensive position? Or are you just going to waste your time? Now, these guys, obviously, we could put some blame on them. Carnarvon was duking it out with a Comet and just getting wrecked. Tiger, you know, and it's not just... A lot of times they'll say, "Oh yeah, look at me. I'm at the top of the list because I did the most damage." But I'm not just gauging the damage. I'm gauging my performance in regards to location, positioning, defense, offense, and team backup and whatnot. So in this case, while there are people that did worse, I'm a little upset that he bailed on me. That's the thing. He retreated. That was kind of cowardly. He could have just stood with me and we could have taken that whole side up. We would have moved north, destroyed artillery or forced artillery to retreat. It may have brought some of the enemy back up to defend, but by then maybe we would have secured a strategic location. 2 tanks can make quite a difference. And I've got rate of fire, and he has, and he's got even a little bit more alpha damage and penetration. So I could have kept something tracked, and he could have finished it off. I mean, I could play that back in a variety of ways. So, you know, Grats, you did a lot of damage, but I really would have wished for some better positioning on that one for all the team. But anyway, that's just me using my analytical powers to perhaps paint a different picture. Okay, well, let's try to do one more and see if we can somehow pull a victory with this vehicle. So, you know, again, there are many times where I'll look at my stats. I'll look at the end of the game. I'll come in first, second, or third a good percentage of the time based on damage. And that's all fine and dandy. But it's when you witness those things, you know, that you start wanting to call it out. And, you know, I can't see what the rest of the team is. I can only see what's going on around me. So in that case, I saw the Carnarvon throw himself away. You know, I maybe saw a few others, but I think I had some confidence in me because I saw that Jagdpanther was. I was like, okay, we can hold this. And then all of a sudden, you know, I'm tunnel visioned and I realize, oh wait, he's gone. So it's unfortunate. But you know, in doing that, you're thinking like, why are you looking back at that past match so much? Why do you keep replaying it? Why do you keep talking about what happened in the last match? Because you learn from mistakes. You learn from the past. That's why you take a history class in school, to learn not to repeat the mistakes of others. And when I do that in games, it's me saying, okay, what did I do wrong? And what did the rest of the team do wrong? So if I'm in their shoes, then I don't repeat that mistake. If I could analyze what I did wrong, well, I mean, I could have fallen back when I saw that there was a column of about 3 tanks in the mix, you know, coming up the way. But I was able to take out the Ferdinand, and I was able to take out the T-28. I don't know. Maybe the Jagdpanther was falling back to fight another day. Maybe that would have been smart, but I also knew the speed of my vehicle was just not up to snuff, and that I was already lit. And with the vehicles where they were, I didn't want the flank to fall. So anyway, yeah. I was just holding my ground. And that's why I always dwell on other games, because even though I'm focusing on this match now, I can multitask in this title to the point where I know that I'm thinking about how to use this vehicle in this battle and not make mistakes from the last match in this one. So that's how comfortable I am with this game, is that I can multitask in it. Other titles, maybe not so much, but in this one, yeah. And that's what I suggest you do, is to really analyze your games. And if you can't do both at the same time, analyze it in the garage, replay it, and think of what you could have done differently, or what the other or your team could have done to support you. So right now I'm playing a little bit more defensive. I want to wait till the enemy makes mistakes. Right now it's even. The worst thing to have happen in the in most fixed turreted tank destroyers is just to get flanked. KV4. So right now, maybe we want to turn our attention to this side. Again, this team is just going downhill, it seems. KV4 is probably aware of the health status of this AMX, so he's going to get blasted. Unless this armor holds out. I put a shot into the KV4. I don't know how competent this driver is, if he's going to know to aim for my weak spots. Put a couple of rounds into him. I see his gun aiming low, so I'm angling my hull, because we know that if I get hit in the engine, it's good night, sweet prince. KV4 looking in that way. That's a bounce. I was actually trying to just track him to stop his movement for a little bit. So yeah, you see how I'm trying to angle myself a bit more there. He's going for his weak spot at this point. He might try to fall back. Critical hit, but his tracks seem to be pretty beefy. And we've got this guy back here. But at this point, I'm going to finish that guy off. We're going to bring her about. I'm not even going to bother with the IS, really, and then just focus on this guy now. But once again, you know, the team is just absolutely... I think this one is probably the worst case scenario, where the team is just flat out failed. Flat out, you know. I even played defensive this time. I tried to stay back so that I wouldn't get wrecked early on. You know, we managed to finish off a target. That's an example of, like, look, take out people with the lowest hit points. Sometimes you get distracted, like, oh no, there's somebody behind me. In that point in time, you have to do some calculations. You have to think, okay, well, there's 2 tanks behind me. There's one in front of me with low health. Let me just finish this guy off. These guys are going to get me anyway. I'm too slow. It's not going to matter. Let me take somebody out. And then the IS-6, instead of worrying about him, I turned to the T-34 because I knew that I could penetrate him. I knew that he was an easier target, and I could get my gun around to shoot at him at least. If he had low health, you know, that would have been a second kill. There was nothing I could do about the IS-6. You know, he's a brawler. He would have been tough to deal with anyway. And then we just didn't have enough backup, and then, you know, their Ferdinand and whatnot showed up, so whatever. You know, what can you do? Just bad matches. Yes, I am going to blame the team in these scenarios. There may be some tactics I could have done differently. Now here, yes, you can see there's a situation where we did all right in terms of damage. How was our positioning? Well, in this scenario, I think we could have been a little bit more on the east flank to deal with the onslaught of tank destroyers. I was more mid-range so that I could answer to either side. I felt that based on, you know, spotting, we could take a look at east and west and say, all right, we need help on the west. I can relocate. Need help on the east. I can relocate. But we ran into that KV4, decided to deal with him, and we actually put a lot of hurt on him with some backup there. We had some people to distract, but in this scenario, it was just the team really... I don't know. I don't know if we were too much on one side, not enough on the other, but that was just an example of a failed game. Again, so, well, what can you do? I only really got to engage 2 targets. My positioning there, probably not so hot. I'll put a little bit of blame on myself, but when you deal with a team that's getting wiped that early, it just comes down to, well, do what you can on your own. Just hit stuff, get some points, get some credits, and leave. Again, just to take another quick look at that. Hey, 30,000 in profit. You can lose in this thing and not worry about the credits. It's just the major flaw to this game is the fact that you don't get rewarded for your performance. Now, again, in the next patch, if you earn a hero medal, you'll get what you would get on a victory, I believe. So that's a step in the right direction. But like in this case, am I really to blame in this match? Should I not get rewarded? The last match, I didn't get any medals, but I still think I did an all right job. Same could be said for this guy, Tiger 2. Well, what did he do? What didn't he do? I don't know. Shouldn't he get rewarded? Even the Yag Panther in the last game, did he? I don't know if he got a medal or not. I wasn't really paying attention. Let's see. So, okay, he got a lot of damage. He didn't get a hero's medal, but shouldn't he still be rewarded? Now, yes, I'm still kind of upset that he left my side, but I still think that these guys maybe should get more of a reward. Now, my damage was low because I mostly finished tanks off and tried to hold a line. But these guys have more alpha than I do. Shouldn't these guys get the XP that they deserve, even though we lost, for doing tons of damage at least? Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's what I like about War Thunder. You lose, it's frustrating, but you get rewarded for it. So, we'll see. Maybe World of Tanks will eventually learn. And I think that once they get more competition with games like War Thunder, Ground Forces coming out, I think they're going to have to step certain things up. They're going to have to be like, wow, we need to reward players more because these other games are coming out. We're going to lose a customer base. Not that they care, because Russia will always be loyal to this game. Most of Europe will probably always be loyal to this game, but they're going to have to think a little bit. Like, why, if they see numbers dropping in a certain region, they might think, wow, we should probably reward people a little bit more. And that's the thing, because this is a good game. It's just, there's things that needed to be fixed a long time ago. So hopefully they work on rewarding you as an individual. And I know you could say, well, you don't want to reward people for being individuals because then you're not going to do well as a team, or that's going to decrease the amount of teamwork. But I ask you this, what teamwork is there now? Unless you're in a platoon, where is there teamwork? There isn't any teamwork in its current system, so it's still not working. So you need to reward people for carrying, or at least doing loads of damage, or I don't know, assisting in some way. If there's lots of spotting work being done by scouts or anybody, assistance in tracking, because sometimes you're in a tank that just can't do a whole lot. If you're tracking like it's nobody's business, why isn't there a medal for that? I mean, there should be medals that focus more on assistance, and I know there's spotting medals and scouting medals and things like that, but I don't know, because with this new thing about rewarding individuals based on hero medals, that's not good enough. There needs to be more. I mean, come on. Is it really going to hurt the economy in the game for giving somebody a little bit more experience and credits because they did a good job? I think they just need to look at it a little bit more, because that's where you get shafted. And that's when it becomes discouraging. So, otherwise, okay, I just showed you a few losses here, but I'm not discouraged, because I know that I did my job. I did pretty decent. First 2 matches for sure. Last match, I probably could have positioned myself on the east side, I think, a bit more to defend against the tank destroyer assault. But, I've analyzed that. I can save that information in my brain for other battles and move on from there. So, you know, guides don't have to just revolve around how to use a tank, but more so about how to replay a past match and save it for later so you don't make the same mistakes. Not just what I did, but what other people did. Sometimes you might lose your tank, but if you can help out a friendly in the process to the point where it buys enough time, takes out the majority of their force, you know, do it. Sacrifice yourself. Take the hit for somebody if you have full hit points. Jump in front of the shot. I've done it. And one, you end up with somebody that's really thankful. And two, maybe you've saved the game with that shot. You never know. How many times you play a game where it comes down to just one shell? One-on-one. There's 2 tanks left. And it just comes down to who has the most hit points. And because somebody blocked a shot for you, you were able to finish off that enemy. Yeah, you never know. You know, it's like the butterfly effect, but with tanks. So, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you've enjoyed this look at the Jagdtiger 88 and how I actually analyze gameplay a little bit more. So, once again, thank you so much for joining me. I will definitely see you on the next one.